And welcome to the Blue Steel Podcast Show. I'm your co-host LV Live, along with my co-host Jeff. And people, I know you've been home quarantining and it's been crazy, getting cabin fever. But we're back at it, man, trying to get this sports thing, cranking out. But please, once again, hit us up at the Blue Steel Show at gmail.com, bluesteelshow at gmail.com. And also check out the LV Live, JB Presents, Locker Room Talk with me and my boy Jeff. He's been banging out great content. But let's get straight to it. Jeff, what did you think about that documentary last night? MJ and the Bulls, The Last Dance, my man.
I thought it was very well done. It is it's history, obviously, and some stuff we know about. My biggest thing is finding out things we kind of don't know. For me, and then obviously just seeing how it's put together because of our backgrounds and dealing with film and stuff like that. But I thought it was really good, man. A couple things that I didn't know about the relationship. There's a couple big things that we'll talk about in a little bit that we learned that I didn't know about the team. But overall, man, I thought it was really, really well done, and it makes me excited to watch the next 8 episodes. I don't even think the last 2 are done yet. If they are, they just got done. But looking forward to it on. So, what you think?
Yeah, very true, man. I loved it. I loved it. I just thought that, to your point, it just opened our eyes to so many things that was going on back there, back then. But at the same time, it broke down the greatness of who Michael Jordan was and how he came to be. And I think that a lot of those things we've heard about, but we never really heard the direct stories. You know, how he was in North Carolina, how hard he had to work to get to
Yep.
that level. You know,
Yep.
if you remember the quote that James Worthy said, that when they played 1-on-1, he wasn't better than James Worthy, but 2 weeks later he. That's right. That's right. 2 weeks later he was, and it just shows you how hard Michael Jordan wanted it, man. And I think that kind of gets forgotten in today's times. In today's microwave generation, with the whole thing with Instagram and Twitter, everything. Everybody wants everything now. Everybody wants all the fame now. They don't understand and realize how hard you have to work to be great like this. It's not easy. Believe it or not, it's a very lonely life too, because you have to be willing to sacrifice it all for this.
Yep.
And to me, that's kind of like what it kind of brought in. And the reason why I say sacrifice it all, because if you remember, the one part of the doc series, the one part that I liked last night was when they showed him when he got to the Bulls, and all them cats was doing drugs and partying and stuff. He was at home living like he was still in college.
Yep.
Focused on the game and focused on practice. He didn't care about nothing else. And I think, Jeff, in today's time, like I stated earlier, I think that gets lost in regards to greatness when it comes to how great people really want to be. Are you willing to give it all up? Are you willing to not party? Are you willing to put up those luxuries of life that people feel is luxuries in order to be great? You got to be willing to put that stuff on the side, man. And some people aren't willing to do. They want it all. But in order to be who Michael Jordan is, you can't have it all if you want to be what he is, So, I mean, that was the one part that I really loved the most. What do you think?
No, that's a great point. I think that's actually an excellent point. Got to put in our work, man. No matter what it is. For me, I think a couple of the biggest takeaways was, for me, 2 big ones was the literal blatant disrespect of Jerry Krause in terms of being GM of the team. And I liked how they put the seeds of that, how they explained where the seeds of that started, like his second year. Like the mistrust or distrust, both, that MJ had of the organization itself. That's huge, because that started his second year. That didn't just come in 1998, 97, 98. That was there 10 years before that. That was huge. I didn't understand where that came from. I knew there was some kind of beast there, and it wasn't all peaches and cream, obviously, but to actually get to see it, and then that led to just the disrespect that Scotty had. Very at the very end, they was talking about Scotty berating him on the bus, which is unprofessional and shouldn't do, but you understand where that comes from. Then the other part was, for me, was just the contract that Scotty had, being 122nd highest paid player in the NBA, and getting the background as to him as to why he probably did that. One other point that they didn't actually bring it up in the documentary I heard on ESPN today. Scotty had a back injury before he signed that contract, which definitely led to him doing that as well. You got to figure Scotty even had a scholarship when he came out of high school. So for him to be able to get millions of dollars, 8 figures of money guaranteed is a ton. He got 11 people. His 2 people in his home are paralyzed. Getting the background on that adds a lot to the meat of that. Whether or not you think they should do that, or they should have renegotiated his contract and stuff like that, it gives you context as to why that happened. So those are 2 really big things for me that I didn't really know. I knew of, but got a lot more depth on it and a lot more understanding as to why those things happen. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next 8, episodes. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I totally agree with you. Hey, man, the treatment of Scottie Pippen. You got to understand who Scottie Pippen was back then.
Right.
People who are a little, I'll say, if you're younger than, I would say, if you're younger than 35, right, I'll give you that. 32, that might be pushing it. But if you don't really know who the Bulls are. You don't know. You know Michael Jordan, but you don't know who Scottie Pippen was. And what I mean is just how much he meant to Michael Jordan. And MJ made it clear last night when he said, listen, I wouldn't be here with my championships if it wasn't for Jordan. It wasn't for Pippen, excuse me. And for him to get treated the way he got treated, talking about trade and we're not going to renegotiate your contract. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Scottie Pippen's one of the 50th greatest players that ever played this game. And he's probably the greatest number 2 player. If you want to think of somebody maybe second to that, you want to say maybe James Worthy when he was with the Lakers? Running Showtime with Magic on a wing?
Scotty's better than him.
That's what I'm saying.
Not that James Worthy is a great player. He's top 50 also, but yeah.
Come on, but Jeff, you're right. Scotty did on both ends.
Yeah. Scotty was all that.
He was the glue.
Scotty was all that.
Jeff, he was the glue, man. He was the glue. Mike wasn't on every night.
No, you're not gonna be.
You're not going to be. Now with 82 games, Mike wasn't on every night. But when Mike was off, you know who stepped up and did the dirty work, got the steals, got the assist, dropped in 25, 26 at the same time? Scotty. People forget when Jordan took that hiatus, 18 months off, Scotty was up for MVP of the league that year. He was killing when he was with the Bulls.
Right. All people remember at that time is when he sat on the bench because Phil didn't draw a playoff for him.
Right, he wanted Kukoc take the last shot.
Right. And I'm sure there was some psychological reason why Phil did that. No idea what it was, but yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you've been saying that, man. You never win the chip without Scotty. And you have to have there's very few instances in the NBA history where you got to have at least two great, but definitely one great player, if not 2, to win championships.
Listen.
Or more.
Listen, Batman and Robin, Jeff.
Yeah. Got to.
But, Jeff, I want to swing this over to this point, too. After watching this documentary, right, when this is all said and done, because we will be back here to talk about part 3 and 4 next week also. Jeff, I think a big part that's going to be pretty much the premise of this, and I'm sure people are watching who didn't know, they want to see how great was MJ really. Was he better than LeBron? How great was this guy? And I hope for most people who never saw this man play, after this 10 what is it? What is it? 10 episodes, 10 episode documentary. Once this is done, you will see why. It's my opinion, I'm sorry. LeBron James is not even close, man. He's not even close to what MJ was. Not even close. And if you got an issue with it, get at me on the page. Hit us up.
I don't agree with him not being close.
Yeah, well, Jeff, of course you're not gonna think that because you're a Laker fan.
It doesn't matter. He could be playing for the Clippers. You appreciate Gray. I don't like the Bulls. I appreciate Mike Rubius. They're different type of players. But he's not. Here's the thing that I think people do. Like a lot of times you get these debates. A lot of people get to they're trying to diminish one player. They're both all-time great players. I just don't think that MJ is as far out there in the galaxy ahead of any other person that's played, mainly LeBron and Kareem, as people say he is. To me, I just don't think he is. Not taking anything away from him. I'm saying that because I think people need to recognize the other players as well. Like Kareem and LeBron are different players than Michael. Period. Obviously, Kareem's the center, so it's different. And LeBron's a different type of player as well.
Right.
So I don't think to me, LeBron is as special in a different way as Jordan was to me.
Listen, this is going to be a debate for I don't know how long time goes on, right?
Yep.
But you know the thing is, Jeff, what me and you have, unlike a lot of these other people, I remember watching this guy play in his prime, man. I remember it vividly. I wasn't a little kid. I wasn't 5 or 6. I was in my teens and my early 20s watching this guy play. And then you got to understand, too, the other dynamic, too, is I'm a Knicks fan. So you can imagine the pain I have.
Yeah, everybody has. But yeah, definitely a Knicks fan.
So, exactly. So I understand it vividly because I saw him all the time. All the time. We were always the primetime game on NBC, right? Remember the games came on NBC?
Yep, NBC. Yeah, NBA on NBC. Yep.
That's right.
Absolutely.
There was the primetime game. It was always the Bulls and the Knicks and the Bulls, the Knicks and the Pacers, right?
Yep. Knicks and the Pistons.
Right. Right.
Bulls
Exactly.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Those are always the primetime games. They were East Coast games. They came on first. The Lakers and everybody out west, the Rockets came on in the second half.
Yep.
Same way it is now, but the games were earlier. They were like at 12.
Yeah, the Knicks games I know. Yep.
Right. That's how it always went. So people who know basketball back to the years that I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, people. And what I'm saying is that this debate is going to go on forever. But I'm telling you what I saw with my own eyes was this guy. He was on a totally different. He just was. And what I mean by that is, Jeff, you know, he would rip your heart out, Jeff. When you thought your team could win, he would rip your heart out. And since then, I have not seen a player, maybe Kobe, but I have not seen a player have that type of juice, man. Period. And then the other dynamic, too, you know what I mean, is that I just don't think that there's ever going to be a team that had like the rock star appeal that they did. They were like they said, you know, they mentioned last night, they were like the Beatles. I don't know if there's ever, because MJ was the first of his kind, you know what I mean? You had Dr. J, you had Magic, but he just took it up to another notch, you know what I mean? As far as world-renowned status and, you know, it was all about his shoes and his sneakers, right? He was the first of his kind.
Yeah.
I just don't know because of the way things are today. And I guess, like I said, I think because everything is given to you, there's no mystique with these guys, right? You see everything. You see what LeBron's doing on Instagram. You see everything. You see what Dwayne Wade's doing, and God bless his soul. When Kobe was alive, you would see where these guys were at. You didn't really see MJ like that. So when
No.
so when he came out in public, Jeff, or when you saw a billboard of him, that was a big deal. When his sneakers were dropping, that was a big deal. All these guys got sneakers coming out. You don't know when they're coming out. No one cares. But when his sneakers were dropping, it was huge.
Yeah, it's just different times.
Different times, right?
There's not gonna be because you know closest thing we had to that in the NBA was the Miami team, the Heat, as they call them.
Right.
But because of the time, everything perfectly in line for Jordan. When the '92 Olympics hit, basketball blew up worldwide. Mike is the best player in the world. He won his first title. All that kind of the stars aligned, as far as that.
Right.
Not just from there. So, and now it's such a big sport worldwide that you're right. Nobody's gonna hit that. I mean, Kobe's hit big heights, LeBron as well, but none of them are still as big as Jordan, because Jordan was, like you said, the first to do it. So that part of it you can't compete with. It's kind of like Ali.
Right.
Okay, how boxer is, nobody's gonna be bigger than Ali was. He's still one of the most popular athletes in the world now.
Right.
Which he has been boxing 40 years.
Right. And that's because, Jeff, he was just the first of his time. Right. He was just the first of his kind. He was just a larger than life image. Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard. And so the reason why I just say that about LeBron and a lot of other guys is because to me, I don't think it's fair to them. Just because of who Jordan was and the impact he had. And like you said, just different times, different eras. We weren't given so much access back then like we are today. So it's kind of like, believe it or not, it's like overkill today, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, less is more on the other side.
Right. There you go, man. There you go. So I don't know, man, but I'm excited about the next few episodes, man. It's going to be extremely exciting to see. I want to see exactly how Phil Jackson was later on. I saw the little clips of what they're going to talk about. They're definitely going to talk about that Pistons series. And
will be featured, I think, this one.
What was it, dude? What was it, Jeff? The Jordan rules, right?
Yeah, that's what they call it. Yep. I hated the Pistons. Not like the Pistons.
Hey, man, look, check it out. If you really want to break it down, man, Zeke, Isaiah Thomas, man, the only one to beat Jordan, Bird, and Magic in their prime, man.
Probably, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yo, you gotta give it up to Zeke, man. Them bad boys. I'm just saying.
They was good. I just didn't like them. You know what I mean? There's certain things you don't like. I just did not like. You probably hated the Cowboys back when. You know what I mean? Back in,
nah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I hated the Pistons. Plus, they beat us in the championship, the Lakers. So.
Yeah, man. They were definitely legit.
They were very good though.
They were Chuck Daly and the crew, man. They definitely were stacked. People, you will see how good they were this weekend when they discuss it. If not, I also do know that ESPN does have a 30 for 30. Since everybody's quarantined, you can always go on ESPN and check it out and pick it out.
Yeah, they do. It is right.
Right, they have a 30 for 30 for the bad boys, but
and Zeke is from Chicago. A lot of people forget that.
That's right, Jeff. That's right. And that's why, believe it or not, they said that he had a lot of issues with Jordan because he felt Jordan was getting the attention from his city that he felt he should have gotten. That's right, Jeff.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot behind that.
Right.
I think that started when they froze him out of the All-Star game.
That's right.
They probably talked about that. One other thing to get back to the last thing I know we gotta go. I love seeing Jordan. Like, I've never seen Jordan laugh. There was 2 times he laughed. Never seen him laugh like that because he doesn't do a lot of interviews. He talked about the nickname for the Bulls, and then that letter that he wrote to his mom. You know what I mean? That was funny. Like, you literally genuinely got dudes like Mike was your friend, and y'all was just laughing about something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I know he said he doesn't think that people are gonna like what they see of him. Everybody knows how intense of a player he was. I think this is cool because you're getting to see like other sides of him. You don't know MJ that well. We know him because of his sneakers and all, but we don't know him all that well. He wasn't as open as like Kobe was. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or a lot of these guys are. And again, part of that's because of the era, but also part of that's because he kind of holds him. He's not that public. He's not out like Magic.
Right. Well, like you said, Jeff, less was more, right? That
Right.
you know
He's
that
always kept that kind of thing.
right. It's that mystique, man. It's that mystique. If you remember, Jeff, back in them times, stars were really stars, man. Like you didn't, it was a reason why they were stars.
Right.
Because they were kind of larger than life. You didn't really see them out like that. You didn't really have access to them. Like it just was a different time, different era, man. So, but hey, great show, man.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Uh,
Thank you, ESP. Thank you.
Y'all, ESPN, thank you, definitely. But you know what? Check it out. We will be back this week because this week, people, as you know, the thing that we love most is Shield is the draft this week. The Shield has the draft.
Your boy Tua getting the 13 on the Wonderland. Jeez. 13?
Yo, man,
13? Really? They prep you for this thing, man. What are you doing?
hey, man, look. Listen, man, we got a lot to talk about in regards to that, man. We got a lot to talk about, definitely. But people, we're definitely going to bring you guys some insight to the draft. Me and Jeff definitely, we're going to look at our schedules, break some things down because the draft is huge. A lot to talk about football coming up this week. We'll try to give you guys a pre-draft show. And then, of course, our reaction to after the draft, what we saw some teams picked up. There's a lot of great players coming out. I think LSU's got like 20 kids coming out, man. They're stacked.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a great draft this year. So we'll definitely be back to talk about that. But please, people, if you have not seen this show, please hop on the documentary. I mean, I don't know if you haven't seen it, you must be on another planet. But this is the only thing popping right now in sports. So
it's on Netflix too, or ESPN. You can definitely catch it.
There you go. Hey Jeff, man, great show, brother.
Yes, sir. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, be safe. Please, people, once again, hit us up at the bluesteelshow@gmail.com, bluesteelshow@gmail.com. Also, too, when you come to our show on YouTube, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, please. Let us know how you feel about it. And also, check out Jeff's regular stuff that he's putting up all the time about our show and about sports. LV Live, JV Presents, Locker Room Talk. Please, people, come to that and check it out, man. All right? We thank you for all your support, and we'll be back. Jeff, I'm going to holler at you, brother.